This is Aesthetically Trained, the podcast. Pushing you to year-on-year progression. With your host, Ross McKinley.
Yo, Ross McKinley, Aesthetically Trained, the podcast, episode 2. Let's get it. So, after the first episode, I'll be honest, my original intention was to delve into a deeper topic, to maybe show you how clever I was, and jump into muscle gain, fat loss, an educational topic, something that maybe everyone wanted to learn about, want to hear my thoughts on. And that's great, but, and I want this to continue throughout the podcasting journey that we're all on, I love when people ask questions, when people comment, and one of the things I've said this past week was, what did you think of the podcast? What do you want to know more about in the future? How can I help you? And I think this topic now, what I'm about to talk about, is the biggest thing when it comes to motivation and helping you through shit sessions, giving you a reason to train when you don't want to, giving you that drive, that focus, and really when it comes down to it, that love for the gym that I very clearly have and that I try to make all my clients have, and that is the challenge. That is, if you like, the secret that I believe I have to my training within Aesthetically Training and with what I teach the lads that I coach. When I asked for feedback this week, a lot of you mentioned, like I said there, you said maybe, what about something to think about in terms of motivation, or what do I think about a mindset or a technique or a training session or something that you can do when you're feeling like you don't want to go to the gym, when you've had a bad day, when you want to dig in, when you need that boost, what can you do? Well, the first thing is, a lot of people would say that a lack of motivation comes from a lack of goals. And that's great. And I think that your overall focus always should be there. And I think your overall focus should either be on muscle gain or fat loss. And I'm actually going to talk about that in the upcoming episodes. But before that even happens, something I mentioned in the last episode, something I mentioned right at the beginning. Why did I love the gym? What did I say? It's like scoring a goal. Now, some of you might have listened to that and you might have been like, what the fuck is this weirdo on about? How is it anything like scoring a goal? And maybe that's because you've never trained hard enough. Maybe it's because you've never had these challenges, this adversity, this controlled chaos within the gym that you can create for yourself, which gives you that confidence boost, which gives you the self-belief, which gives you the drive, which gives you the hunger, which gives you the excitement. So what I want to talk about today is spend some time giving you an insight into what I like to have in every session, on certainly in 75% of them, how I like to structure the session in a way to get that little boost, to give you that little high, and why I think that that could be the answer to what a lot of people are lacking in terms of motivation. So when I mentioned before about scoring a goal, I think that for every session to have that possibility, you need to have a plan. You need to have a challenge. You need to have a reason that you've went to the gym. Some of you are going to the gym and you're making it up as you go along. You haven't got a workout plan. Now, actually what I'm talking about here, this isn't to talk you into a workout plan. It isn't to talk you into writing your own training program or buying a training program off me or another coach. This is even more simple than that. This is how I started off at the gym. This is one of the things that I've loved doing with my mates over the years. This is when you're training with a pal, when you're just sick of training yourself or you need that buzz to go in. Set yourself a challenge. Very, very simple. A challenge, a task, a skill, something outside the box, something that gets you outside of your comfort zone. Something that when you've finished it, you will be absolutely buzzing that you've done it. Something that before it, you're a little bit nervous. Something that you're thinking about during the day at work. Something that you're thinking about on the way at the gym in the car. The exercise or the cardio challenge or whatever it is where you wake up in the morning and it's that day and you think, fuck, deadlifts, I've got to do 160 for 8 reps. I've got to beat 8 reps. Or you think, I'm running a half marathon. Or you think, I'm doing 1 minute on the rowing machine. Where in your workouts, where in however long have you been training, have you had that in your session? Think about it. Because it's those goals, it's those targets, it's those challenges, it's those tasks, however, whatever you want to call them. For me, I like to call them challenges. It's those challenges within your workouts that I believe hold the key to not just your success in the gym, but I think it can transfer over into other areas of your life. And it's actually, when I thought back on the first episode myself, it linked in nicely with questions that people are asking us, it's actually really everything that I'm about in the gym. It's using the gym, it's using the sets and reps, the tempo, the coaching cues, the sheets that we use, the workout logs. It's using those as an opportunity to beat yourself every single day. Everyone talks about, and everyone in life, you can be the most negative person in the world, but you still want to be better in yourself. You can be pessimistic, you can be cynical, but in yourself, you'll always want to improve. If you offer anyone the opportunity to improve, they'll want to do it. The problem is, for everyone listening to this, is that in your relationships, in your career, in whatever area it is, sometimes it can be very hard to see instant results. Sometimes it can be something that you work on for a long time and you haven't got the confidence, or you kind of pluck up the courage to get it over the line, or for whatever reason it goes against you. What I mentioned in the first episode was talking about this scoring a goal, having it in your own control, taking your own responsibility for your training, your diet and everything else. And I think that the thing, if I could give to everyone, and I'm going to give you some examples of these so that you can go away and try them, is to add challenges into your training. When you're low on motivation, when you don't want to go to the gym, when you're wondering what to do in a session, yes, having a plan, having a coach, having a structure, having accountability is great. But the quickest way to build your confidence, the quickest way to see results, the quickest way to build your self-belief is to put in these structured challenges that are targeted towards you and your goals. So instead of just picking something out the air, you need to think, right, well, I'm trying to get leaner, so something that would be suitable to me might be more of a cardio-based challenge. It might be the 1 minute max rower. It might be something like running a half marathon. When you say it to yourself, you almost want it to be something where you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. Or where other people might be like, you're never going to do that. It needs to be a little bit out of your comfort zone, but we're not just plucking it completely out of the air. It needs to be achievable. But by doing that, by giving yourself those opportunities in every single session that you do, and certainly a lot of them, I wouldn't say if you're training 5 times a week, I would say that 4 of the sessions should have some form of highlight or challenge within them. Sometimes they might have both. What it does is, all of a sudden, every single day, I mentioned before about your career, your relationships, whatever it is you're trying to improve. Well, all of a sudden, every single day in the gym, you've got something that you're psyching yourself up for. You've got a level of resistance. You've got something that makes you feel a little bit uneasy, makes you feel uncomfortable. It makes you practice and gives you the opportunity to practice situations that might happen to you in other parts of your life. It's honestly, you can tell from how buzzing I am. This is one of the best things I can teach you about the gym. It's why when I thought about what to start with and when I listened to you, this made so much sense. Because if you can pick this up, all of a sudden, one challenge in your session turns into doing the next thing, which might be writing all of your workout down. Might be having a strength indicator, like something where you're trying to beat your weights every week. Might be a cardio challenge. All of a sudden, that gives you confidence. You're building, you're doing better, you're improving. The next thing that happens, maybe you're looking to build your confidence at a specific exercise within the gym, something that you have not done before. Everyone loves learning a new thing. You could try a front squat, you could try a Z press. Could be that you've never barbell back squatted before, deadlifts. But the gym, and what I'm getting at here, is that the gym gives you an opportunity more than anywhere in your life to have not quite necessarily instant results, but instant opportunities every day, every session, to practice this habit, to practice facing resistance and going through it anyway, to practice improving, to practice attacking your goals. So by using challenges, you can actually build up your life and build up so many other areas through using these things within the gym. So that buzz and that fear is key. So if you're thinking now, well, what am I going to do? How does this link to me? How can I put this into my training programs? Well, when you're lacking motivation, when you're thinking about, right, I want to improve my chest, could you do the 2-minute press-up challenge? Could you look online and find another chest challenge? Something that's outside the box, something that you haven't done before. Is it that you're trying to get leaner? Is it that it could be a cardio challenge? Could it be something for your shoulders? Could it be something completely mad like the 9-minute squat challenge? But all of a sudden, you've got a focus. You've got a motivation. You've got a reason to go to the gym. You've got a highlight to that session. Most of you go to the gym, you might go on the treadmill, you might go on the cross trainer, you might do 3 sets of 10 on bench press, you might do chest flies, shoulder press, whatever it is. But you haven't got a plan. You haven't got a purpose. You haven't got something that you're going to leave the gym with and go, do you know what? I fucking done that today. I smashed that. I was a little bit worried about it going in, but I've done it. I'll get better from it. Having a plan obviously is going to help with that, but even in the most simple terms, the challenge is the way forward. And I'm not talking about the 28-day challenge, I'm not talking about anything other than just where is the discomfort? Where in your workout are you making yourself uncomfortable? Where are you seeing your workouts, your training sessions as an opportunity to practice conquering that adversity? There's a great quote, and it is that the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. How cool is that? And basically what that means is that the thing you're worried about doing, you'll get the benefit from. The thing that you're the most nervous about is the thing that you should try and do. It could be trying a new exercise in the gym. It could be finally stepping up and working out your diet and going on a proper diet. It could be going on a muscle building phase and getting a little bit uncomfortable with your weight and pushing it up so that you finally build muscle. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Think about it. It's class. I love it. It applies to everything. It can be difficult conversations. It can be at work. It can be anything in life. But normally, with resistance or going through resistance and going through discomfort, whether it's the sets and reps in the gym, the running on the road, or stuff in life, comes benefits, comes the gains, comes the buzz, comes that feeling that I talked about in the first episode that got us so hyped and makes us like this, is that feeling of scoring a goal. And when I thought back and I listened to the feedback from the first episode and I seen your questions, I thought, I've talked about how that makes me feel, but I haven't talked about how I actually achieve it. I haven't talked about how I took my approach of how I wanted to beat everything and beat myself, and how actually when I started doing that in the gym, it made us more confident, made us take on other challenges in other areas of life. But it's easy to talk about doing it. But to give you, this is why the gym for me is so good and why I'm so passionate about it, is it gives you an opportunity to instantly go away and do it. So how can we do this? How can we make it actionable? What tips have I got for you? Well, you should never, I heard this on another podcast the other day, you never decide while you're running how far you're going to run. If you did, everyone would probably run a mile, probably run 2 miles. Imagine if you'd never done cardio before in your life and you started running, you'll think you're going to fucking die. What I mean by that is you should always decide what you're going to do before you go to the gym. You should be trying to have a plan in place. So if you're going to the gym tomorrow, you might be listening to this on the way to the gym now. What are you doing in your session? Where is the highlight, the challenge, the main focus of your session? What is the thing that now listening to this podcast you're thinking, he's right, I've got squats tonight. He's right, I've got deadlifts. Oh, I'm doing that press-up challenge at the end. Oh, I'm going to try running a mile in my fastest time. Oh, I've got that. All of those things, where are they in your session? Because that'll give you purpose, that'll give you motivation, and that'll give you the buzz that I'm talking about. That'll give you that sense of achievement that passes over and transcends into all other areas of your life. But without them, training, I wouldn't train if I didn't have that. I wouldn't train if I didn't have a plan. I wouldn't train if I wasn't making myself feel good every session. Doesn't mean that I'm going to enjoy every single minute of it. I don't want to do heavy deadlifts. Sometimes I feel nervous before I squat. We've all had leg days where you feel a bit sick and you're having to go to the toilet again before you want to train because you're a bit like, I'll just waste a little bit more time. You're procrastinating over your sets. You're looking around the gym thinking, fuck me, if this buries us, it buries us. But do you know what? When you get out of the hack squat, when you put the deadlift bar down, when you turn around to your mates, when you're driving home in the car, when you go to work the next day and someone says, what was the gym like last night? What did you do last night? You're like, well, I'll tell you what, mate, actually, I done this in the gym. I done that. That's what it's about. That's what it's about with your group of mates. It's that buzz, not to tell other people. It's because you want to tell other people because you're that proud of yourself. It builds your confidence. It builds your self-belief. That leads you to go back to the gym another day and you do another challenge. You have something else that stretches you, that gets you outside your comfort zone, whether it's a new skill, a new exercise, or something targeted towards muscle gain or fat loss. That's what it's all about. And this can also be, when I talk about it translating in other areas of life, I talk about your career, your relationships, difficult conversations, but actually you can also look at how you can implement this outside of the gym. One of the biggest things that I'd done in the previous lockdown, you might have seen it on social media, I was doing a lot of cold water bathing, cold water immersion, going in the sea. And when I first started doing it, I don't think I could work out why. Maybe it's for the likes on social media or for whatever, for the views. But when I got into it, and I had read about it, I'm joking about that, but when I got into it, the biggest thing I can compare it to, and what I missed the most when gyms were closed, was exactly this feeling. It was the challenge. It was the mental resistance before a heavy set, before knowing that I'm going to go absolutely balls to the wall on the rowing machine, or on the bike, or sprinting outside, or hill sprints, or whatever it is. It was that feeling of discomfort, because for me, I've related that now in my head, that feeling of nervousness before, that discomfort, that, oh, fucking hell, I'm not looking forward to doing this. I know fine well that the things that make me feel like that lead to the most mental benefits afterwards. It becomes addictive, and that's what makes you do it. That's what makes you improve. It's just class. And for me, cold water immersion, jumping in the sea across the northeast of England, all over Northumberland during the last lockdown, that gave me the most help during the previous lockdown, because just like you, I didn't have access to the gym, I wasn't lifting heavy weights, I was working out at home. So those 10 seconds before you go in the water, when you're at the beach, when you get there and it's freezing cold, we've done it in January, man, and there was snow on the beach, and you're taking your clothes off and people are looking at you thinking, what are these doing? Are they in a suicide pact? Why are they walking down the water? And you're like, this looks horrendous. And that feeling, that nervous rush, is like when you're in the gym and you've got the weight on the bar for a deadlift, or you're trying front squats for the first time, or some of you are maybe giving a new cardio machine a go, or you're going on a run for the first time outside in public, or whatever it is for you, where you get that nervous feeling. But it's resistance, and it's resistance against something that you know you should be doing. And you need to relate that feeling, you need to seek it out. And my advice is, make sure that you have it in at least 75% of your sessions. Try and have it in every session, but it can become draining if you do that. But I think overall, the benefits far, far, far outweigh the negatives of that. And putting pressure on yourself to seek out these challenges will only lead to more benefits. So that, for me, is the secret to motivation. That is how I feel about training. Hopefully you've all understood that, and hopefully you can all buy into it. Trust us, if you are unsure about what to do in the gym, go on my YouTube page. Look at the 9-minute squat challenge, look at 2 minutes of press-ups, look at the 1-minute max rower, look at all the different challenges I've done over the years. What I would then do is I would try to relate it to your current goal. Even just doing a challenge for a challenge's sake is good, just to get you into the swing of things. But then what I would do, I would start trying to make it more specific. The lads that work with me know in every session will have a highlight of the session. That's the thing, like I said before, that you're looking forward to on the way to the gym, that you're thinking about when you wake up, that you maybe even a little tip is write the numbers in, or write the target that you want to beat in, either the night before when you go to bed if you're training first thing in the morning, or when you're on your lunch at work, write down what you're going to do in the gym that night and write down your target and what you're trying to beat. That'll fire you up. And once it's written down in that book, you'll go and do it. Give it a try. Let us know what you think. I hope that helps you all with motivation. I hope that helps you all find those little goals, as I said, and get that buzz from your gym sessions. And remember, I'm going to finish with this quote because it's class. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Awesome. Thank you very much. Episode 2, done.
You've been listening to Aesthetically Trained, the podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and spread the word.